Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories. Today we're bringing you a great matchup between two Shawnee Mission schools as the Shawnee Mission East Lancers, coached by Nate Southwick, are taking on the Shawnee Mission West Vikings, coached by Pam Creed. Let's go ahead and meet our contestants. First from East.
Hi, I'm Harrison Quick. I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Dennis. I'm a junior.
I'm Ray. I'm a junior.
I'm Dean, and I'm a junior.
I'm Alex, and I'm a junior.
And our competitors from West.
I'm Dane, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Blake. I'm a senior.
I'm Nick, and I'm a junior.
I'm Jonathan, and I'm a freshman.
All right, fantastic. Here on Categories in the first round, we will take turns answering questions. If a team responds correctly, they earn a point for their squad. If they respond incorrectly, the other team does get a chance to steal that category. We did a coin toss before we started taping. It was won by the Lancers. So Shawnee Mission East, the first category for you is general knowledge. Name the first metal used by man to make tools and weapons. Harrison?
Bronze.
It is not bronze. Vikings, chance to steal this general knowledge question. Name the first metal used by man to make tools and weapons. Nick?
Copper.
It is copper. Sticking with you, Vikings, math is the category. Any complex number for which b does not equal 0 is said to be what kind of number? Nick?
Imaginary.
Imaginary is exactly what we're looking for. Lancers, coming back to you with economics, specifically economic terminology. What is the name of the tax imposed on the money made by an individual in a given period? Harrison?
Income tax.
It is an income tax. Back to you, West, world history. To whom did the Ayatollah Khomeini refer when he spoke politically of the Great Satan? Nick?
The United States.
The United States. That is correct. Back to you, East. Current events is the category. President Obama made his final foreign trip as president to which country? Harrison?
Greece.
I'm sorry, Greece is not correct. Vikings, chance to steal this current events question. President Obama made his final foreign trip as president to which country to attend the Asia Pacific Economic Summit, or APEC? Blake?
Japan.
It was actually Peru. Peru. Vikings, we are staying with you. Vocabulary is the category. A statement which is seemingly self-contradictory or absurd, but in reality expresses the truth, is called a paragon, a parallel, a parable, or a paradox. Nick?
A paradox.
It is a paradox. Coming back to you, Lancers, sports is the category. Who became the first Major League Baseball player to steal 100 or more bases in 3 consecutive seasons? Alex?
Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson, exactly. Vikings, science. Science regarding species, to be exact. Harvestman is one common name for any of the long-legged terrestrial arachnids frequently mistaken for spiders. What is the common name given to them? Nick?
Daddy Longlegs.
It is a daddy longlegs. Back to you, Lancers. Literature is the category. In which of Shakespeare's plays do we meet the character Lorenzo? Dennis?
Hamlet.
It is not Hamlet. Vikings, chance to steal this literature question. In which of Shakespeare's plays do we meet the character Lorenzo? Blake?
Macbeth.
It is not Macbeth. Merchant of Venice. Merchant of Venice. Vikings, staying with you with the category of U.S. geography. What city boasts the largest Cuban community in the United States? Dane?
Miami.
It is Miami. Back to you, Lancers. Mythology. Name the bird of Greek mythology whose fire was both a destructive and creative force. Harrison.
Phoenix.
It is Phoenix. West. Entertainment is the category. A Space-Time Odyssey is a sequel to the 1980s PBS series Cosmos: A Personal Voyage. Carl Sagan was the host of the original Cosmos series. Name the astrophysicist who hosts the current program and heads the American Museum of Natural History's Hayden Planetarium. Jonathan.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That is correct. Very good. Back to you, Lancers. Vocabulary. What is the legal term for an agreement of two or more persons to carry out an intent to commit a crime or to accomplish some unlawful purpose? Time on that. Vikings, chance to steal this vocabulary category. What is the legal term for an agreement of two or more persons? Blake.
Conspiracy.
It is a conspiracy. Vikings, U.S. history is the category. The first engagement of the Civil War occurred when the Confederate troops fired on Fort Sumter. In the harbor of what city was the fort located? Blake?
Charleston, South Carolina.
That is correct. Back to you, East. Current events. The movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was number one at the box office. The story was scripted by what author? Dennis? Time, sorry. Vikings, back to you. Chance to steal this current events category. The movie Fantastic Beasts. Dane?
Rolling.
Rowling, very good, J.K. Rowling. Vikings, coming back to you with science anatomy. The aqueous humor is a clear solution containing tiny amounts of salt. This fluid is found in which organ of the human body? East, chance to steal this science anatomy category. The aqueous humor is a clear solution containing tiny amounts of salt. This fluid is found in which organ of the human body? Harrison.
The tear duct.
Sorry, I cannot accept that. We're looking for the interior of the eye, not the tear duct. I'm sorry. East, we are staying with you, however, with a U.S. government law. Proof in criminal cases must satisfy the judgment and conscience of a jury as to the guilt of a party beyond what degree of doubt? Dennis.
Reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt. Very good. Back to you, Vikings, with sports as the category. What winter Olympic sport combines cross-country skiing with rifle marksmanship? Lancers, chance to steal this sports category. What winter sport combines cross-country skiing with rifle marksmanship? Dean.
The biathlon.
It is the biathlon. Lancers, staying with you, world geography is the category. In which city are the Great Hall of the People, the Gate of the Heavenly Peace, Tiananmen Square? Dennis.
Beijing.
Beijing, very good. Vikings, coming back to you with a literature question. What Minnesotan's autobiography is called The Education of a Public Man? Lancers, chance to steal this literature question. What Minnesotan's autobiography? Harrison.
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
I'm sorry, it's Hubert Humphrey. Hubert Humphrey. Lancers, we are staying with you. Mathematics is the category. Answering between 0 and 360, identify the degree measure of theta when cosine theta equals -1/2 and the sine of theta equals the square root of 3 over 2. Dennis?
270.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. Vikings, chance to steal this mathematics question. Answering between 0 and 360. Identify the degree measure of theta when cosine theta equals -1/2 and sine of theta equals the square root of 3 over 2. Nick.
120.
It is 120. Vikings, staying with you with famous paintings. Grant Wood painted a picture based on a Washington legend told by Parson Weems. Identify the subject of this painting. Lancers, chance to steal this famous paintings category. Grant Wood painted a picture based on a Washington legend. Harrison.
The chopping of the cherry tree.
Chopping down of the cherry tree. Very good. Lancers, general knowledge is your category. Independent research has confirmed that more presidents have died on which day of the year than any other? Harrison?
July 4th.
July 4th. Back to you, Vikings. Mythology is the category. Odysseus spent the same length of time getting home as Rip Van Winkle did sleeping. What period of time? Nick?
10 years.
I'm sorry, cannot accept 10 years. Lancers, chance to steal this mythology question. Odysseus spent the same length of time getting home as Rip Van Winkle did sleeping. What period of time? Dean?
14 years.
It's actually 20 years. Lancers, we are staying with you. The next category is U.S. geography. What West Coast city has the largest natural harbor in the United States? Harrison.
San Francisco.
It is San Francisco. Coming back to you, Vikings. World geography this time. What country's canals, when frozen, host a 143 skating race called the Elfstadentag? Jonathan.
Hamburg.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that. Lancers, chance to steal this world geography category. What country's canals? Harrison?
The Netherlands.
It is the Netherlands. Lancers, you do get the next category. It is language. The French say au revoir. What do the Italians say? Harrison.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci or ciao. We would have accepted either one. Coming back to you, Vikings. History is the category. The word means inhabitants of hell. From Asia, they invaded Europe in the 13th century, moving into Hungary and Bulgaria and Russia. Theirs was the empire of the Golden Horde. What were they called? Dane?
Mongols.
I cannot accept Mongols. Lancers, chance to steal this history question. The word means inhabitants of hell. From Asia, they invaded Europe in the 13th century, moving into Hungary and Bulgaria. Harrison?
Barbarians.
Cannot accept barbarians. We're looking for the Tartars. Lancers, you are going to get the next category. It is U.S. government. We'll finish the question. Who is the highest ranking member of the U.S. President's cabinet? Harrison.
The Secretary of State.
It is the Secretary of State. And with that correct response, you've taken a 1-point lead as we head into halftime. Shawnee Mission East 12 and Shawnee Mission West 11. At this part of our program, we're going to go to a representative from each school as they will give us a campus update. And from Shawnee Mission East, looks like Harrison, you're giving us the update of what's happening at 75th and Mission.
Our football team was recently eliminated from state playoff contention against Blue Valley High School in sub-state. We've just finished a large can drive to benefit the hungry in the Shawnee Mission School District area, and we just had a recent play on the comedy show Bob's Burgers.
All right. On Bob's Burgers? Really? Okay. That's pretty inspirational right there.
Yeah.
All right, and it looks like, Blake, you're giving us the update from the Vikings. What's happening at West?
Yeah, we just finished our canned food drive also last week, and we are starting winter sports this week, and we have a band concert coming up in a couple weeks too.
All right, so we're kind of in that lull in between seasons right now, aren't we? Yeah, but good things are happening at both schools, as always. All right, as we head into our second round, it is our lightning round, and we begin our lightning round with our traditional look and listen question, in which we will display it here on a monitor for our contestants in the studio, and we will also display it for you, those of you viewing at home. The look and listen question is worth 2 points. And just as a reminder to the contestants, when someone rings in, we cannot rewind the video. We have to proceed from that point forward. All right, here's the look and listen question, and the category is transportation. Indicate which, by number, which is the mainsail and which is the jib sail. Harrison.
The mainsail would be 1 and the jib sail would be 2.
That is correct. 2 points awarded. And as we continue here with the remainder of our lightning round, questions will be placed on the floor for either team to answer. If a team responds correctly, of course, they earn a point for their team. If they answer incorrectly, the other team still gets a chance to steal the category. So both teams, hands on buzzers, the category is anatomy. By what more fanciful name do we know a human's third molars? Harrison.
Wisdom teeth?
Those are wisdom teeth. Science for both teams. Asteroid and comet impacts are very rare on the planet. What country experienced the only major terrestrial impact of the 20th century? Dennis?
Russia?
It is Russia, and that was June 30th, 1908. Literature for both teams. The last edition was published in 1947, and since 1960, it has not only been suspended, but has lost its legal force. Name this list that included such works as The Prince and Les Miserables. Nick.
The Index of Forbidden Books.
That is the Index of Forbidden Books. Very good. General knowledge for both teams. Ranked number 2 after Christmas. About 850 million greeting cards are sold yearly for what holiday? Harrison.
Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day, very good. Fine arts, painting. The largest fresco of the Renaissance was completed in the Sistine Chapel in 1541. Give me the title. Blake?
Creation of Adam.
It's not the creation of Adam. Lancers, chance to steal this fine arts painting question. The largest fresco of the Renaissance was completed in the Sistine Chapel in 1541. Give me the title. Harrison?
The Last Supper?
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that either. It's the Last Judgment. The Last Judgment. Geography, landforms for both teams. What are long, narrow depressions in the ocean floor called? Nick?
Trenches.
So they are called trenches. General knowledge for both teams. On a ship, what is the color of the port light? Harrison?
Red?
It is red. Theater for both teams. Name the strange play by Eugene O'Neill, which uses the device of having the inner thoughts of characters break through on regular basis, break through regular dialogue in the form of soliloquies. It is Strange Interlude, Strange Interlude. History, inventions for both teams. The Model T was discontinued in 1927 and replaced by what advanced model? Harrison.
The Model A?
It is the Model A. Poetry for both teams. Who is the witty American poet who wrote rhyming schemes such as, I don't mind eels, except at meals, and the way they... Blake.
Dr. Seuss.
It is not Dr. Seuss. Lancers, chance to steal this poetry question. Who is the witty American poet who wrote rhyming schemes such as, I don't mind eels, except at meals, and the way they feels? It's Ogden Nash, Ogden Nash. Literature for both teams. Who wrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Nick?
Douglas Adams.
It is Douglas Adams. Health, medicine for both teams. The Millennium Development Goal target on which disease has been met convincingly? Dennis?
Zika.
I cannot accept Zika. Vikings, chance to steal this health and medicine question. The Millennium Development Goal target on which on which disease has been met convincingly, according to the UN? Blake. HIV. It's not HIV, malaria. Malaria. Military history for both teams. What war was responsible for the annihilation of the French knighthood? Harrison.
The 100 Years' War?
It is the 100 Years' War. U.S. presidents for both teams. Presidents continue to perform a valuable public service after their terms in the White House. What office did this man hold? William Howard Taft. Dane.
Supreme Court judge.
Supreme Court judge, very good. Sports for both teams. What's the classic angling technique used to catch trout and salmon? Harrison?
Fly fishing.
It is fly fishing. International commerce for both teams. Does Europe receive rubber, oil, or cotton from the United States? Harrison?
Oil.
I'm sorry, cannot accept oil. Vikings, chance to steal this international commerce question. Does Europe receive rubber, oil, or cotton from the United States? Jonathan?
Cotton.
It is cotton. Geography for both teams. Canada happens to be the topic of this question. What province ranks first in area? Harrison?
Quebec.
Quebec, very good. General knowledge for both teams. What would you be including if you mailed a letter that included a SASE or SACE? Be a self-addressed stamped envelope. I don't know if people use the mail anymore. All right. Fine arts, musicals for both teams. In what musical does a nurse named Nellie threaten to wash that man right out of her hair? South Pacific. South Pacific. Math. What's the slope of the line defined by the points 6.2 and 5.8? That slope is -6 or -6/1. Current events for both teams. Non-union workers at which airport said they would strike on November 29th in an effort to win the right to organize and get a minimum $15 an hour wage? Harrison.
Heathrow.
It is not Heathrow. Vikings, chance to steal this current events question. Non-union workers at which airport said they would strike on November 29th in an effort to win the right to organize and get a minimum of $15 an hour wage? Dane.
Air traffic controllers.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that. We're looking for Chicago O'Hare Airport. World history for both teams. In the latter part of the 19th century, what country joined the United States as the main source of world oil? Was it Great Britain, Japan, Russia, or Arabia? Harrison.
Arabia.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. Vikings, chance to steal this world history question. In the latter part of the 19th century, Blake?
Russia.
It is Russia. Spelling for both teams. It is a short description of the most important information about something. It's a summary or an outline. How do you spell synopsis? Blake.
SYNOPSIS.
That is correct. Government for both teams. The record for the longest filibuster in the U.S. Congress is 24 hours and 18 minutes. The record is held by a South Carolina Republican who spoke against the Civil Rights Act of 1957. Name him. It was Strom Thurmond. Science, chemistry. What is the name for the group of elements that have electrons in the outer shell while one of the inner shells is incomplete? Dennis?
Transition metals?
That is correct, transition. Literature for both teams. In Galveston, Texas, you can see Dickens on the Strand with Yuletide representations of characters from what famous book? Nick?
A Christmas Carol.
That is A Christmas Carol. Entertainment for both teams. To make this theater unique, Sid Grauman decided to preserve in cement the handprints and footprints of movie stars in an expansive forecourt. Name this theater. Harrison?
Chinese Theater.
We can accept that. Chinese theater. Very good. Both teams. General knowledge is the category. What bird is named for its odd whistling call, often heard at night, sounding like Harrison?
Whippoorwill.
A whippoorwill. Very good. Geography for both teams. 5 U.S. states contain no point more than 300 meters above sea level. Name any 3 of these 5 low-lying states. Harrison.
Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, and South Carolina.
Sorry, cannot accept that. Vikings, chance to steal this geography question. 5 U.S. states contain no point more than 300 meters above sea level. Name any 3 of these 5 lowest lying states. Dane?
Louisiana, Rhode Island, and Hawaii.
Can't accept that either. You guys were really good with Louisiana. Rhode Island is another one. Mississippi, Florida, and Delaware are the others. Vocabulary for both teams. What word derived from the Greek words meaning air and life refers to a system of bodybuilding through exercise? Harrison.
Aerobics.
Aerobics. Military history for both teams. Benedict Arnold, the notorious traitor that had earlier been a hero in the Revolutionary War. Identify either one of the 2 battles in which he proved especially meritorious. Harrison.
Saratoga.
Saratoga. Ticonderoga was the other. Both teams. Science is the category. His statue stands in front of the building of the Smithsonian Institution, informally known as the Castle. The unit of electrical inductance is named for him. Name this American scientist. Blake.
Watt.
It is not Watt. Lancers, chance to steal this category as the last question. Harrison?
Thomas Edison.
It is not Thomas Edison. It's Joseph Henry. Joseph Henry. That assignment does denote the end of our game, however, and we have a final score of Shawnee Mission East 27, Shawnee Mission West 19. Please join us again next time here on Categories as we will continue to bring you the best and brightest minds of high school students throughout Johnson County.